So the next piece that we're going to put in our 4th grade comprehension notebook deals with discovering the magic of words. Now, as 3rd grade greenies, we worked with this idea. And as 4th graders, we're going to continue, of course, using context clues. But we're also going to focus on words that allude or refer to characters, particularly in mythology. And we have goals for informational text that continue with those general academic words, or we might call them domain specific, as well as using strategies of context clues, roots, and affixes, and then of course using our resources. And so I'm referring to the idea of language of the discipline to get us thinking more broadly about those content and domain specific words. Language of the discipline deals with terms and vocabulary that's important to a particular topic. So we're not just necessarily talking about an area or a domain, but it also can include new and unfamiliar words, figurative language, or categories of words and related words. So again, we're going to broaden our idea to language of the discipline. We're still going to explore figurative language, and in particular, we'll take a look at allusions, hyperboles, and personification. An allusion is a reference in a text to something that's well known. If you read Turtle in Paradise as a 3rd grade greenie, you would remember this. When we read Turtle in Paradise, we referred to Necco wafers. We learned about connections to Shirley Temple and Little Morph and Annie. So we're going to really work with allusions more. Now, some common Greek allusions are going to be ones that we may not necessarily remember or know the myth, but when you start to read these things, then once we learn these references, you will know. And so we're actually going to add a part for these common allusions. Watch carefully for how to cut out your page. So when you attach your allusion page in, you're only going to glue it down this edge so that you're going to have flaps. And in class, under each flap, we'll add the meanings of each of these allusions. The next page you're going to put in is about hyperboles, which are extreme exaggerations, and they're pretty funny. I have 2 examples from advertising. Often, advertisements are trying to persuade you into buying a product or a service, a good or a service. An example that I find pretty funny right now is the Energizer Bunny for batteries. They keep going and going and going. The idea is that they last so long. Disney is marketing Disneyland or Disney World as the happiest place on earth. So again, not everybody would agree with these, but they're just extreme exaggerations. We'll be on the lookout for those. We'll also look for the idea of personification, or for something to be personified. It's where human-like qualities are given to something that's not human. I've left a space here for you to illustrate the flowers begging for water. Obviously, flowers are non-human, and so begging is a human quality, but it's a great expression. So draw what you think that will look like here. The last piece we're going to add is the idea of connotation. Connotation is an idea or a feeling that a word invokes in addition to its literal or its primary meaning. Connotations can be very positive. When we think of home, the connotation of home is warm, comfortable, or pleasant. Wall Street is a term that we often hear to be associated with wealth, power, or greed. And so what you're going to do is you're going to then take that final piece at the bottom and start it on a new page. Here's an example, the word thin. A positive use of the word thin might be, the thin woman walked gracefully across the room. So we're calling her thin in a positive way. A negative use of the word might be that the thin woman filled her plate with food. So we're implying that she needs to fill her food because she's thin in a negative way. You're going to get these 10 words to cut out. They're paired. So I have juvenile twice, thrift twice, and so on. You're going to need to read each word and infer whether or not the word is positive, and then you can glue it in a column here, or whether or not the word in the sentence has been used negatively, and then you can glue it down the side here. So I'm going to leave that for you to do.